friends too, and you stayed true to this friendship. How have you navigated keeping who you are and being a public figure? Is this hard for you or easy?
No, I'm just trying to think how we navigate it.
I was going to say, what if we not share?
So you feel comfortable just sharing everything?
Pretty much everything, and I would have to say it wasn't even a matter of navigation.
Yes.
You know, for years people used to say we were gay or that we were, and listen, we were up against that forever.
No,
and people still make
say it. And I used to say to her, you got to do a show on this because it's hard enough for me to get a date on Saturday night with people thinking we're gay.
Yeah.
Because if we were gay, we would tell you.
Again, it's interesting to me being a decade younger. I know when that was said about you. I remember that rough time frame. But what I think you've taught society, yes, there's still some fringe people who maybe say that, but what you've taught society is that women can have deep, true friendships.
Well, I think you're right, Melinda, because one of the things I started to think was maybe people aren't accustomed to seeing women with this kind of truth bond, meaning the reason why I think our friendship has worked is because GAIL is happier, not happy, but happier for me for any kind of success or victory or challenge I get through than I am for.
Yes, because a lot of times people, you know, they don't believe two women can have a close-knit relationship unless they're gay, or two men can have a, you know, close-knit relationship unless they're gay. But no, that's you know, that's those are those stereotypical believings, I guess, that you know, but it's possible. You know, just like you can be in a marriage. You can be in a marriage for 20, 30, 40, 50 years with the opposite, you know, the opposite. You know, male, female, so the opposite person. And you can have that, you know, particular relationship with your opposite person, you know, in your marriage. So then, you know, if you can do it in a marriage, why can't you do it in a regular friendship? You know, so that's like a, you know, stereotypical way of thinking. I mean, there's plenty of good friendships out here, long-lasting friendships out here, you know, that people are in, and they're not gay. Everybody's not gay. So let's get back to it.
Myself. And I feel as happy as she does. I can't be happier than she cannot, you know,
Can't surpass Gail.
cannot surpass
You
Gail.
cannot happy me,
You
Melinda.
cannot out-happy her. So
Okay, good.
I am equally as happy for her. I mean, and what I see in a lot of friends, I remember once having a friend, we were out shopping and she said, oh, you're getting another black dress? And I thought, well, yeah, I am getting another black dress. And just the tone in which it was said. So you can't really be friends with anybody who has a hint of jealousy about anything that you're doing. Certainly about your success or your, you know, being celebrated, or you cannot,
Or anything that you have.
or anything that you have. You cannot be friends. If you see that in somebody, I say those little whispers where somebody is like, well, okay, well, look at you. You cannot.
Because they're showing you who they
You have
are.
to distance
Believe
yourself, or you have to cut that thing off.
Cut
I
it
just
off.
assumed everybody had a really good friend. Certain, but I know
Everybody
that that's
does
not true.
Everybody does not.
I just assume every woman, maybe not for men, but I just assume every woman had at least one.
They don't have a solid three.
Yeah, that's what I marvel that you got three.
Yes, and also to be able to talk about anything.
Anything.
Yes.
Whether it's the
Because-
death of a parent or a child growing up or
divorce.
something you're afraid of, a divorce. I would not have gotten through my divorce without my three closest friends. There's no chance.
Did you tell them after, were they the first people you told after you told yourself?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And going and
Yeah, mine
facing
too.
them, or
Yeah.
even that I was even thinking about separating.
Wow. Were they all in agreement?
Absolutely. And they had seen enough over the years, you know, and they knew some problems along the way. You know, they'd see me sad, or, I mean, you actually need a friend who will tell you the truth, even when you don't want to hear it. I'll say about my friends, they have a perspective on me, and I have a perspective on them. And
Yes.
you have a long-term friendship over as long as you two have, or I have with my friends. You've kind of seen it all with the other person.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you nudge one another though when you think the other one needs to grow? Do you say it out loud? Like,
Yes. You just sing it out loud.
Especially when you're used to, I mean, in Oprah's life, everybody is always very flattering and is always very agreeable with things that she says. And sometimes I'll go, that's just not true.
Yeah, people often say that things.
Your hair does not look good. It looks like your color's wrong. Yeah, it looks like,
Yeah, we both have done that.
Yeah, we both
have done that. Yeah.
So, just to close, what advice would you give women who are, let's say, like me, I'm about to turn 60. What
I don't have no advice for you.
Well, yeah,
Well,
what
no
advice
advice for you. You are doing it. You were a model. You were a model.
I know. What advice do we have for you, Melinda French case? Nothing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Doing what
It's
you're doing.
working.
You are a model for the world.
Yes.
You are a model woman for the world. You have
Yes.
taken everything that you have, your wisdom, your wealth, your intelligence, your care for the world, and how you modeled for us how to use true wealth.
Yes.
And true wealth meaning everything that comes from the inside out and not just what's coming from the outside in.
Not,
And to go
not
through
just
something
financial
so
wealth.
publicly and come out on the other side with such class, such grace, such integrity. It wasn't a, Mama, you know what he did to me? Stop doing that.
They don't want every detail.
Yeah, they don't want
But
every
this is
detail.
what I loved about
Yes.
you,
Yes.
is that you told us just enough to let us all know that this was painful and that it was real and that you were as hurt by it and challenged by it as any other woman would be. You were a real human being, that you were a real woman. And I think to be able to do that and to do it with the kind of grace and strength that you showed us all,
Forget it, yeah.
you were the model.
Because you didn't have a moment where you just acted like, no big deal, everything is fine.
Yes.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that for my soul and for so many other women that I've met who are in painful situations and
That's
can't
right.
get out
Yes.
or aren't sure they should get out. And I will say, you used the word grace just a minute ago.
Yes.
I prayed for grace, Gil, before that interview.
Pray for grace.
Grace.
Yeah.
Just grace to say the right things and not the wrong things. The grace to stand in my truth, but also not do complete damage, right? To watch both of you evolve in the public eye and in who you are and see you go through these decades, I will say for me, it's been a huge inspiration in being willing then to speak my truth and try and listen.
Don't you feel you're just getting started? Aren't you so psyched for this new chapter?
Yes.
Aren't you?
Yes.
Like, that's my, I know.
Very.
Like, where can I go?
Because it feels like real freedom.
Yeah.
And I've had
real freedom.
I've had older people who are in their late 80s or 90s saying, "You're just beginning."
Yes.
Like,
Oh, well, you are.
Yeah, but for other women who are making a transition in any way,
kind of transition.
any kind of transition, whether they're in their 50s, whether they're in their 40s, whether in their 60s, any last advice you'd like to give to them? Because you all have you both made
But I
huge
just think you
numbers.
could always be better. You can always be better. You can always do better. I don't care. Even as I sit here today, where people say, "Gail, I want to be just like you," I go, "You really don't. You want to be the best you that you can be."
Because you
I
can't
kinda
be
got
like you
this.
because you haven't had your life.
That's right. I always think transition can be a really good thing. I believe in taking risks, don't take foolish risks, but I believe in betting on myself. And if it doesn't work out, it's also on me, and that's okay.
One of the greatest lessons I've learned is that change is there to evolve you. And I live in a place where I'm surrounded by trees because I love trees. I watch how things change and evolve, change and evolve, change and evolve and get better.
And stronger.
And stronger. And so what I know is if you are paying attention to your life, that life only gets better. Because everything that shows up is showing up to expand you, to open you, to help you grow to whatever the next level is there for you. And so I know that love doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Not supposed to hurt.
Love doesn't hurt. And if it's hurting you and causing you to lose yourself and to lose who you know yourself to be or could be, then it's not the love for you.